The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation. Viewers are invited to make a judgment based on all available information.
For decades, scientists have been searching for incontrovertible proof that extraterrestrials exist. Many experts believe aliens may have visited Earth before and will inevitably descend upon us in the future. But more unsettling is the possibility that aliens are already here. Recent news reports suggest that China, Russia, and the U.S. are caught in a new high-tech space race.
You'll be dealing with hybrid armies, you'll be dealing with little green men, and you're going to be dealing with it all. And it's all going to be dealt with simultaneously.
A global effort has begun. Secret files hidden from the public for decades, detailing every UFO account, are now available to the public.
More than 100,000 government documents on UFO sightings are now available online.
The truth is out there, or is it? The U.S. Air Force just released the files to a top-secret government program called the Project Blue Book, launched to investigate more than 12,000 UFO sightings.
Debate presidential candidate Dennis Kucinich said he'd seen one, so has Jimmy Carter. So did a pilot who traveled from Iran to Washington so he could speak out today about his encounter with the UFO. Now, unidentified flying object means just that, unidentified. It says nothing about what or from where. But for years now, polling has shown that a majority of Americans believe the government, our government, simply isn't telling all it knows about those lights in the sky, whatever they are.
It seemed to be a huge flying disc.
The now retired pilot is one of 14 men, mainly former government and military officials from 7 different countries, talking about their UFO experiences.
It disappeared in about 10 to 20 seconds.
This conference took place in Washington, and the cast of characters was almost strangely, well, conventional. One of the believers, former governor of Arizona, Fife Symington.
I saw something that defied logic and challenged my reality.
UFOs and close encounters have been reported around the world for decades, in densely populated urban centers, along coastal areas, in rural farmland, and in barren deserts. But why are UFOs here? And what do they want? Insiders claim that the U.S. and other countries have already been secretly militarizing space. For 50 years, governments around the world have investigated UFO sightings. But just how are these top-secret studies conducted? Who is called upon to analyze the evidence? And why do many of these governments deny that they study UFOs? The United States government, among others, has formed many UFO investigative units dating back to the 1940s. After an unprecedented wave of UFO sightings in 1947, to establish a permanent presence in space, we developed the International Space Station. To service the space station and resupply it with food, experimental equipment, and astronauts, the U.S. successfully developed the Space Shuttle.
Could a Space Force exist? Absolutely. Could we hide it? Could the government hide that secret? Absolutely.
And we're keeping track where they are to make a safer place to operate in for everybody's assets around the world, not just the U.S.'s assets. On an average tonight, we track 20-plus unknown objects with the sensors, and we catalog them, or we send them to the Joint Space Operations Center, and they catalog them, and they start to track them, and we'll follow up and tracking them.
So as the commander of the 2nd Space Operations Squadron, my job is to operate the Global Positioning System to provide precise navigation and timing to the entire world.
This complex network consists of a constellation of 31 operational satellites.
My team, the operations group, brings the operations focus to global missile warning. I'm very fortunate in that I have outstanding leaders, outstanding airmen, well-trained to do a critical job. Our primary focus is missile warning for this nation. We have the 2nd Space Warning Squadron. We have the 11th Space Warning Squadron, Operations Group Detachment 1, the Ops Support Squadron, and we have the 8th Space Warning Squadron. We have the 460th Space Communications Squadron. We're dependent upon them to bring back that mission data from all around the world. And they ensure not only that our base comms are exceptional, but more importantly, all of that mission data gets where it needs to be at the speed of light.
If a Space Force exists, when and why was it created? Evidence may point to the existence of a secret, independent U.S. Space Force. But it's one thing to have a plan, and quite another to put it into action. In 2001, a hacker from the UK uncovers evidence that points to something many thought did not exist. UK IT expert Gary McKinnon allegedly gains illegal access to over 50 US agency computer systems, including the secret NASA database.
According to him, documentation that proved that not only were aliens real, not only was NASA scrubbing out UFOs in their photos, but also that there was this secret space force that existed that could potentially travel to other planets, or that there were military personnel that were currently in space.
Gary McKinnon alleges that NASA is actively involved in a massive cover-up. Many experts believe America has operated a secret space force for decades, with ultra-high-tech ships designed for a wide array of space defense capabilities. A high-ranking retired Canadian defense minister shocks the world when he claims that the United States Space Force not only exists, but is armed and ready to attack. Hellier claims his concern for the security of planet Earth is the reason he has exposed the existence of a secret space force. Experts are divided on whether alien visitors are friend or foe. But ever since the first atomic bomb test on July 16, 1945, in Alamogordo, New Mexico, UFOs have been appearing in alarming numbers over top-secret nuclear weapons facilities. But what may have begun in New Mexico spread to all corners of the United States. Many other reports suggest that some UFOs are immune to Air Force defenses, but still have never attacked. This leads some UFO experts to wonder if aliens might be performing reconnaissance of Earth, or perhaps policing us, that UFOs are coming after planet Earth's most dominant resource, human beings. But exactly why they are here and what they may be after is still a mystery. Despite hundreds of thousands of alleged extraterrestrial sightings, there is no evidence that aliens have made open contact with humanity. But still, many wonder what first contact will be like.
If you need to defend your planet, put a base here, put a base there, put a base here, and put a base there. It's simple logistics to warfare. Make sure you're protected from the outside. That way your enemy can't get in.
If a space force does exist, how far into the universe does it reach? Who controls it? And is it prepared to defend our world? If and when it does happen, first contact is bound to fundamentally shatter the world as we know it. Find out what the government doesn't want you to know.
The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation. Viewers are invited to make a judgment based on all available information.